Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Another week flying by. We're already on the Thursday edition of the program. That means we're going to do a little trivia challenge today. Dave Gurggle Gergely already in the bullpen. Pitchers and catchers have reported for spring training. That used to be a real source of excitement, Lubie. Did you feel any sense of thrill when you realized that Sandy Alcantara was still a Marlin, that the season is not that far off, 162-game grind and a long postseason, and usual suspects, of course, considered to be favorites again. Is baseball becoming the same kind of chalk sport that the NBA has been for a long, long time?
Feels like it. I mean, what the Dodgers are doing, and they sign any guy that's good at all.
Yeah. You were born in Japan. You're a Dodger.
Exactly. It's like what you say the Royals were for the Yankees.
Can we say, so I'm a Dodger
Exactly.
at birth? Unbelievable. But anyway, pitchers and catchers reporting. I don't know that there was a ton of fanfare surrounding. I was surprised, though, Louie. I sent you a clip. Did you see that?
Mhm.
I sent you a clip of the media gathering around the Marlins opening press offering, and had a manager out there, and he was talking about how great it went last year and how optimistic he is this year, even though it seems like he has less talent to work with on the team. We don't know because we don't know who these people are. But no, an initial press conference, opening of spring training, you figure is going to be the biggest draw of the spring, no? Unless some phenom emerges or they sign Tim Tebow. I don't know what it would be that would attract that kind of attention. But I actually was surprised, Louie, at the number of people. Are they letting like high school newspapers in? Do they even have high school newspapers anymore? Is that like
God, that's a good question. I don't know.
a thing of the past? You would
Probably
think.
letting podcasters. I'm sure they're letting people like Five Reasons, which we appreciate, and different outlets of that in that vein in. Yeah, they probably are letting more because again, there's not that many papers. They just don't exist. I mean, again, they barely cover the Heat and they barely cover like the Kings were in the championship and they barely were covering that. They're not running to cover Marlins opening. So I would think they're letting outlets of all kinds. Yes, 100%.
Is that the one time that you go? Like the opening day of training camp, and then you never go back?
When Barry Bonds came on, and who was it with Mattingly? Mattingly brought in Barry Bonds, like the hitting coach. The station was interested in that. So I had hated Barry Bonds. It was the happiest I've ever seen Barry Bonds. I had never seen Barry Bonds smile ever. All he did was smile the whole time. Like, I guess they're finally not worrying about him. So he's finally like being a human being.
And the battery of syringes that he had,
exactly.
part of his equipment. I don't know if that had any great impact on the Marlins' power statistics that particular year. Anyway, so that's going on. A lot of stuff happening. We were talking a lot about post-race handicapping yesterday. Dave Gurggle Gergely would be an expert on that, although he's not inclined to be a post-race handicapper. Gurgles isn't one of those guys. He'll be yelling and screaming at some guy that's rooting for the chalk. That he can't wait to see that horse go down in flames, but not inclined to go, hey, yeah, you see, I told you the two couldn't lose. I told you. Usually just smiling with a big fat ticket that he's about to cash in the aftermath of a race where there's been a big upset. But post-race handicap, and I was looking at this yesterday, Louie. I thought the odds were much larger and much higher than they actually were, because I thought I saw, maybe it was a misprint in my New York Post, but it looked like there were certain Olympic hockey games that were deemed to be such prohibitive blowouts that you were getting next to nothing. You had to lay like 10,000 to win 100, and you were getting 20,000 to 1 on the underdog. One of those games I thought would have been Slovakia versus Finland, Louie, which I believe opened up the medal chase. It's the preliminary round. I guess they go round robin in groups, and then they go into a knockout round, sort of a soccer
World Cup
type of format. And so Slovakia versus Finland, I thought I saw some outrageous spread in terms of the odds if the Slovakians were to prevail, because you have to figure what there has to be more than a handful of Finnish players.
I was going to say the Finns used to be good
in the NHL.
I remember during the Colorado Avalanche series, I think Forsbergers, one of them was like the Finns used to be like one of the better hockey countries. I don't know now. That was
the big knock was they were finesse players and they weren't necessarily the brutes that you need to knock the crap out of people and contend. We saw how brutal it can be physically. And look, the Panthers were very physical after they changed the Huberto for Kachuk thing.
Yep.
That was emblematic of exactly what was going on philosophically with the team. It's like, you know what? I don't care how beautiful this guy's passes are. We're not trying to put John Stockton on skates. Let's get a guy who will knock the shit out of somebody. That's what we really want. And that philosophy seemed to work. So anyway, the Slovakians I thought were much bigger long shots in this game. They were plus 335 on the money line, Lubie, and they beat Finland. I happened to watch the first few minutes. They got a goal right away, and they go out and beat Finland 4-1. So upset city. And it was one of those deals where I saw the result later on in the evening after watching the beginning of the game. I saw that they hung on and won. Not only hung on and won, but stretched their lead and won going away. And I was thinking, wow, I had the slightest notion in post-race handicapping mentality, Lubie, the slightest notion. I guess I had a small mind bet on Slovakia.
I'm betting on Slovakia. Oh my God.
How effed up is that, man?
I mean, look, they are one of the countries in the cold. So, like, I presume one of the former USSR. No, but I mean, they may by now have some NHL guys. I don't know. One is in one of the Detroit Red Wings, Datsuk, or one of those guys, Slovak.
Be, right?
I mean,
maybe. Anyway, that was part of my Olympic viewing yesterday. And then I was looking at this. ESPN was pushing a bet. They were pushing like a 5-component parlay.
Oh, Jesus.
They're just trying to push you off a ledge to your death. Is that what they're looking to do? Is it very much like the X Games where they weren't going to be satisfied until somebody got killed? Taking a bobsled or a snowmobile and going off some ramp up into the air and then landing somewhere in the middle of the Grand Canyon. You thought it was only a matter of time, and I guess it eventually did happen because we were talking about that before. Its eventuality, which was that the X Games were designed and strictly were there, whether it was the summer or the winter X Games, to get somebody killed.
Yes.
The way they had all of these events that nobody could survive. I mean, it was a lot more obvious that something bad was going to happen than it was even with the Lindsey Vonn thing, unfortunately, which now she's had 3 surgeries on her legs. So Jesus. I still keep coming back to this. I mean, if that was a vanity thing, it was a very poor choice on her part. Although the contention still remains that the knee had nothing to do with it. And I didn't realize this. I think she had completed 3 practice runs, Lubie, 3 practice runs without having a problem and actually performing pretty well. So those who are on the side of, oh, my God, I can't believe that she did this. How selfish of a woman is this bitch? And I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
No, I mean, I wasn't calling her that. I just
maybe one of the more heroic efforts that we've ever seen. Every right to be entitled to go out there and try and compete if she felt that she could. And unfortunately, something else happened. It transpired that gave ammunition to those doubters out there that thought, well, this is just a vanity play. I keep looking at that canvas coffin dangling from that helicopter cable, and you're thinking to yourself, nobody does this just to go out there and show off. That there's just no way. Or because they're so stubborn that they want to deny some poor deserving skier a chance to be on the team. That was just a ridiculous contention. But we wish her all the best in her recovery. I guess it's pretty clear that she probably won't compete ever again. So ESPN is pushing this. Wemby over 30 points and Jalen Brunson over 30 points in their game. And then they had like 3 other components that you would have had to have completed if both of those guys eclipsed 30 points. So, of course, neither of them did. Wembanyama in a blowout by the San Antonio Spurs with 26 points. Jalen Brunson in a 49-point win, Lubie. You would think that would be a good omen if Brunson was going to have 30-plus points in the ballgame.
They probably took him out early.
8 points altogether.
8?
8, yeah.
Jesus,
so you fall well short of that and end up on the losing end. NBA last night, the Heat over New Orleans, 123-111. Just when they throw in a stinkeroo,
yep.
It seems to be the MO of this team for the last several years, doesn't it, Lubie? Just when you're about to throw in a towel in frustration and say, hey, Pat, when are you going to do something? Do something already. Do something.
Pretty much, yes.
They come back and win a game. After losing to Utah, they blew a 5-point lead with 3:32 to go. They were still up, I believe, into the final minute of that ball game. Ended up on a losing end. And your man, Bam Adebayo, last night, unbelievable. These are the kind of numbers, this is the numerology you want associated with Bam Adebayo every game. And you can't do this every game, naturally, but if you could come close, or at least be a little consistent. 27 points, Lubie, 14 rebounds, 4 block shots.
Yeah, that's
Bam Adebayo.
That's what he should do. He's getting paid a lot of money. He should do that. I'm sorry.
Well, part of the reason he did it is because the Heat had nobody. They played 9 guys.
Yes.
This was very much like that game they had against the Chicago Bulls. When
Yes.
Rex Chapman had the 9 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? They had
they blew out the Chicago Bulls. It was one of only 10 losses for the Bulls that entire year, and they had the whole team.
had like 6 guys there. It was like one of those deals where you show up at the Posnack Jewish Center and you only have 4 guys, but you go ahead and play the game anyway. You go 4 on 5. Hero out, 15 straight games missed by Tyler Hero, your man.
Yeah.
Powell out, Larson out, and Wiggins all out.
I mean, I think I told you, those are the 4 I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play them. I would just play the young guys. I mean, if you win with the young guys, okay. But to me, that's what this season is. You're not going to be good. You're in playing territory.
You would sit Powell?
Yeah, I would look, if he's really healthy, fine. But supposedly he's not. Like, I wouldn't push them. Like, I want the young guys getting as much. Look at what Ware did. He got over 20 minutes. Anytime this dude gets over 20 minutes, he's getting double-digit rebounds and usually double-digit scoring. Like, I want Hakachonis out there. Larson's the one I would want out there. I don't like that Larson's not playing. Like, I guess he's actually injured, but like, I'd play all their young guys and just see what you have. Look, maybe you're good. That's fine. I'm not tanking per se, but to me, you're not winning with the group you had. So why not see what you have in the young guys? Like, play them, let them go out there, see what they are.
Yeah.
And then whether it's trading for better talent this summer, which is not really what I would want, or building around them, which is what I would want, you at least have a path. That's been the problem for the Heat since when I used to bitch before they got Butler. It was I just want a direction, man. Whether it's good or bad, I don't care. This middle playing stuff is the worst place you can be. Like, it's just, you're not going anywhere with that.
Understood. I mean, we had enough of that, right? We've had enough of that already with the Miami Dolphins.
Exactly.
Just this mishugging of plateauing and never being very good, but maybe once in a blue moon showing signs of life and then reverting right back to being sub-mediocre for the rest of the year.
Well, you said it. What's so bad about 8-8?
That was Joe Philbin, right? 8-8, not bad. We won half our games. All right, we want to bring this man on because we do have a celebration. Do we have any kind of celebratory greeting for Dave Gurggle Gergely? Yeah, baby. Happy birthday, Dave Gurggle Gergely. Another trip around the sun.
Thank you very much. Me and Abraham Lincoln, same day.
Oh, nice. That's a good man to show.
Do we throw a number out there? Where are we at?
Well, I'm catching up to you. You and I are always like, you're just like a couple months ahead of me. I'm 74 now.
Wow, 74.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. The countdown is on. I'm inside of 6 months to 75, and I'm thinking I'm not sure that that's a good number anymore.
Hey, it's only a number. It's only a number. That's how you got to look at it. I mean, you may have gone through this. I remember back in the 20th century thinking, gee, I wonder how old I'll be in the year 2000. Oh, I'll be 48. Boom, then it came and went like that. By the way, talking about second guessing betting, just before, as soon as the line came out, I bet Seattle at the Hard Rock. Then I win a couple races and I had some money, and I'm thinking, I need to go back and bet Seattle -7, -10, and -14. I didn't.
Really?
I didn't, because I thought, you probably would have got maybe 8-5, 5-2, and 3-1 on those bets.
Good prices.
Yeah, but I didn't do that. But I did this piece of I don't know if you saw this. I know you read the Post. This story may not have appeared about the British man that was killed by a shark while honeymooning in Australia. And the reports say he didn't suffer too long, as he'd only been married 5 days.
Well put. I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. See that guy that was walking around? I mean, he was off the beaten path there, somewhere around the Everglades. Python wrapped around his arm. I saw a brief glimpse of that. He was like riding his bike, and clearly it says this is a restricted area. Nobody should come into this territory there. And there's a guy with his bike and a python wrapped around his neck, and somehow it was a harmless incident. He was able to take like selfies and walk away unscathed. I guess pythons are not poisonous. Is that the deal? But
well,
if they swallow you whole, I mean,
we know one thing: they can't read, or they wouldn't have been there. So that's another matter.
Well, the python had every right to be there. The guy was a bit of a schmuck for traveling into that territory. All right, we're going to do the trivia challenge. The birthday boy, Dave Gurggle Gergely, going to conduct the festivities. So we'll give you a chance to call in at 954-417-0950. 0070 954-417 0070. Any sporting observations, Gurgles? Are you watching any Winter Olympics? That would be kind of your bag because you like all this stuff.
I do watch. I like the skiing and the marathon skiing where they go up these hills and everything like that. What a test of strength that's got to be.
Each guy collapses after the wire. Each guy falls right down, and they're breathing so hard. It's amazing.
I think everybody wants to give the best medal of all to Mike Tirico for traveling across the world after doing the Super Bowl. But during the Super Bowl, he probably had plenty of chances to nap.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, he holds up pretty well, I have to say. I mean, wouldn't you be showing some signs of fatigue? None whatsoever. They do have like a zillion guys covering this, which you would need because it's scattered all over Italy, it seems like, and they go to different remote locations. Not the easiest of things to do, and so far pretty enjoyable for me. I got into some of this stuff that's normally off the beaten path, and it's been interesting. The cross country skiing, though, not for me. You don't see. Is there an Israeli team? You don't see a lot of Jewish guys in that.
No,
Israeli team.
Some of them have the concession stands along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you do to sustain yourself during it? Wow. It's great when they're skiing like maniacs uphill. It is absolutely, it's exhausting to watch, much less participate. And I can't imagine what they're feeling. We were talking about, you probably were forced into running some track and field in high school. That was back in the day when they had physical education and they tried to orient you towards at least trying a little bit of everything. Remember running like an 880 and just having your lungs feel like somebody from the inside out just ripped them apart?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the basketball coach was also the cross country coach, and he encouraged us to do that.
Yeah,
and that's why I played my sophomore year, and then I decided to just play golf the next 2 years.
I much prefer it if the team's coach was the shop teacher instead of some grueling sport. All right, are we ready here, Lubie, to begin the festivities? You want to just do? All right, we'll do that. It's 954-417-0070. The game we dedicate once again, always a tribute to our esteemed colleague. He's still alive. When we pay tribute and homage to the Polyman, it's not because he passed away. I don't know why a lot of people want to put this man in his grave. He's doing fine, and we're happy to report that. And we miss him on the show, but we always try to at least acknowledge the greatness of the Polyman over the years. I don't know how many times, Gurgles, in the last week, I would say it's somewhere around a half a dozen times somebody has mentioned to me that the Trivia Challenge was their favorite show and the greatest radio show of all time. And I would have a tendency, not that we want to blow our own horns there, but it really was a heck of a lot of fun what we were doing.
Yeah, those Saturday mornings, we were relaxed and everything, and Paulie was nervous as a cat and trepidation and everything like that. And once we came on the air, he was the star.
He was great. No, he was unparalleled. It's funny, too, because you and I would witness this, and we didn't really have – were experimenting a little bit with the video back then, and it didn't go well, as I recall. We were on, like, Facebook Live or something. And that was the only time that people actually had a chance to catch the Polyman with his head literally on the table in despair, and then the light would come like, hey, Gurgles, Defo, always good to be with you. All right, so let's get into it here. In honor of the Polyman, we start out the game with Dave Gurggle Gergely, the birthday boy, and some
easy baseball. This Hall of Fame catcher on a possible return to baseball in his 40s said, I was thinking about making a comeback until I pulled a muscle vacuuming. What's that? Johnny Bench, Peter Dench,
that was Bench?
Judy Dench, or Monkey Wrench?
I like the tribute to Peter Dench, one of our favorites, and he was a big fan of the Trivia Challenge. Peter Dench used to always mention that to me. The Scrambler, as they're owned by Luca Panici Lubitz, lands on Ron. Ron, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A, and happy birthday to Gurggle.
Hey, Ronnie, thank you. Best of luck to you. I hope you finish a good second today. All right. Sports, true or false? Monday is President's Day, so we got some questions about our presidents. True or false, believe it or not, President Woodrow Wilson spent 1 year at Davidson where he played on the college varsity baseball team as an outfielder. True or false?
There's Woodrow Wilson at the plate.
I'm going false on that.
No, that's true.
Wow.
That's true. The founder of the League of Nations was an outfielder at Davidson. Yep.
Willie Wilson might have made some sense.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right. Preston Wilson, he was a popular player. Woodrow Wilson, though, baseball player in college. One going for 4.
Let's go back to the Olympics. Which country topped the medal table at the very first Winter Olympics? Norway, Sweden, Germany, or France?
Very first.
Very first. Let's go France.
France.
That's where it was held, but you can always go with the chalk. Norway did, even all the way back then.
Those cross-country skiing events, there's so many of them that there's no way that Norway could lose because they win all of that stuff. They usually sweep the board. Going for 6 points to set the pace.
All right, Ron, we'll take you back to 71 and 72 when the ABA and NBA played all-star games versus each other. Only 2 players in the NBA played in the 71 and 72 all-star game. Oscar Robertson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bob Lanier, Billy Cunningham, or John Havlicek?
Oh, tough one.
Oh, boy. Let's go Bob Lanier.
No, Bob Lanier took Kareem's place one time. It was John Havlicek. Hondo.
Hang on, maybe anything else. So.
All right, Ron, rare egg being laid there by Ron. What happened? The egg shortage is gone, huh? I mean, the prices seem to be back into it. What do you do when you get a dozen eggs? I actually checked them, and then when I got them home, there was a little bit of like stuff in each slot there. None of the eggs are cracked, though. What do you make of that? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's what they used to say about the hockey players from Finland. They could go into a corner with 2 eggs in their pockets and not break them.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, how did Slovakia slip by us at +3?
Wow, good for them.
Wow. Now, you actually physically go to the Hard Rock, or I can't imagine.
Yes, yeah, I don't want the app on my phone because it's too tempting.
Right.
You know, like First Bet is on my phone. And you can add money anytime you want to. So no, I physically go to the Hard Rock, maybe play a little Let It Ride if I can. But yeah, I'll go to the Hard Rock and just bet a little bit on the games. But that's it. I haven't been there in a while. I got to cash a ticket for the Super Bowl. That's it.
No Let It Ride triumphs?
Usually you can get there. It's around 12 noon. You get there and the table fills up. And then when they fill it up too much, they raise the stakes from 5 to 10 to 15. And it gets a little out of my league.
You end up getting clobbered. All right. Ready for our next set of questions? Here's Dave Gurggle Gergely.
All right. Olympics, appropriately enough. This comedian on the Winter Olympic Games said, cross country is really a great sport if you live in a small country. And that was, of course, Stephen Wright, Orville Wright, Wilbur Wright, or Danny Wright, the jockey on Cedartown Miss.
Here we go. The scrambler lands on Mike. Mike, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, sir.
Let It Ride is my favorite movie, eh?
Okay.
That is correct. Very nice.
Last night they did on some show, they did a perspective on the history of films that Jennifer Tilly was in. And she was in that movie, of course.
Very nice.
All right, Mike, true or false? Football. At a recent sports memorabilia auction, the sweater vest worn by Mike Ditka when he coached the 85 Bears to the Super Bowl win, believe it or not, went for $183,000. True or false?
True.
That is true.
True. Oh, good job.
True, yep.
2 for 2, going for 5.
All right, here we go. 1984. The Pro Bowl, Aloha Stadium, Honolulu, the NFC beat the AFC 45-3. What NFC player won the MVP that game? Terry Bradshaw, Art Monk, John Riggins, or Joe Theismann?
Pro Bowl trivia. Wow.
Riggins.
Riggins, he says.
No, it was his teammate, Joe Theismann.
I'm going to take a guess on that one. Yeah, he would be a likely contender for Pro Bowl, All-Star, or MVP.
Right, we don't often do one of these, but we'll give you a date question.
Okay.
When were NHL players first allowed to compete in the Winter Olympics? A, 1998, B, 1994, C, 1990, or D, 2002?
94.
94.
No, just
98.
after that. 98 is exactly correct. Yep.
Gurgles, you are just bending their minds here on your birthday.
First.
I took the under. I took the under.
It's going to force us into a weird situation, and it doesn't even matter how this one comes out because we have a dead heat for one of the positions for the finals here, and anybody that tallies anything in this next round of questions is going to find themselves eligible to win the championship. So
How you doing, my friend?
This is kind of like what that one guy proposed at the end of the year between the regular season and Super Bowl. Have the two teams with the worst record play, the Jets and the Raiders, and the winner gets that first pick. That would have been interesting.
That would be the way to go. No doubt about it. They really need to do something so that they can eliminate the whole concept of tanking. I don't know why they don't have some kind of lottery in the National Football League. I don't know that it's completely effective, but at least it doesn't automatically gift. That was a big Ed Kaplan theory. I got that from him years and years ago, and I believe he's right. He was always a contrarian when it came to this sort of thing, but he said, why reward futility?
Yep.
You should reward the teams that are actually out there performing. So the team with the best record should get the number 1 overall pick. Let them get better. What the hell? And force the other teams that are at the bottom not to just sit there and be content to lose every year, because eventually, and maybe even go to a soccer standard where if you don't perform and you're one of the worst teams, boom, you drop to a minor league level. Just get out of here. All of a sudden, you're an XFL team. All right, let's continue, and we'll take our final contestant here, and then we'll go to the championship round. And so here's Dave with our last set of questions.
All right, one of my favorite ones, golf. As a matter of fact, golf, we are slammed today. We've got probably over.
This weather's ridiculous. Like, this is like prime time for you guys.
When I got here at 7 o'clock, it was like being in Scotland, fog laying over the course and everything like that. But now it's burned off, and we're going to be slammed. Okay, golf.
Yeah.
This comedian asked about his idea of a perfect day at golf, said, give me golf clubs, fresh air, and a beautiful partner. And you can keep the golf clubs and the fresh air. My favorite. Jack Benny, Jack Klugman, Marty Feldman, or Marty Girl. God bless her.
And a rim shot right after that was delivered. And, oh, good. This is always encouraging. Andy, our good friend Andy, you're on the Trivia Challenge. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Happy birthday, David.
Thank you, and congratulations on your win last week. That Landy office the furniture chair and the palm tree are on its way.
Is that chair on wheels?
Yeah, the Porsche came yesterday.
Very nice.
All right. Basketball, true or false, Andy? This date in history, in 1978, Fred Newman made 88 consecutive basketball free throws blindfolded. True or false?
Fred Newman?
Yeah.
Oh,
not 2011. Not 2011.
I'll go with false.
No, that's true.
Get out of here.
True.
Who the hell is Fred Newman?
I don't know. It's a guy who made 88 free throws blindfolded.
Holy Helen Keller, man. I mean, what kind of accuracy is that? Unbelievable. All right, one going for 4 here, Andy. You'd be the first guy to get a correct answer on the show.
All right, Andy, here we go. Walt Disney, believe it or not, was in charge of the opening and closing ceremonies for one memorable Olympics. Which of the following was it? The 1960 Olympics, the 68 Olympics, the 84 Olympics, or the 88 Olympics?
I'll go with 84.
84.
No, think logically. 1960 in Squaw Valley, they were in charge. Yep.
I think it was Munich because he was a Nazi.
All right, here we go.
Let's get this one.
This date in history, the 1977 Toronto Maple Leafs won their game 10-0, and this shutout was versus
wow, where'd you find that?
The Washington Capitals, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Boston Bruins, or the Montreal Canadiens.
What year was that?
It was 1977, Andy.
10-0.
The Caps, the Flyers, the Bruins, or the Canadiens?
I had the Caps plus 9.5. I'll take the Caps.
You're right. You're right.
So we did have them.
So you did have them. Wow, that's a
I was thinking the only way you could deduce that answer correctly is by blind guess.
Great logic.
Well, hold on, Andy. You'll be in the
All right,
final.
thank you. You legitimized the game finally here because we do have somebody with a finals total. While we assemble the finals, and Libby's going to use the scrambler there to decide between Ron and Mike for who goes against Andy for the championship. Andy trying to go back to back. And if he does, I don't know. He probably should light up a Perdomo cigar, no?
Yeah, exactly right. It doesn't have to be your birthday to have a Perdomo cigar. You can get them any time of the week. And you can get them right here at the golf course at our pro shop. We've got the 10th anniversary here, the Churchill and the Robustos. But if you want the wider selection, you got to go right down the road, 57th Avenue, 50 right off the Palmetto, between a little bit east of the Home Depot on the south side of the street. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, the exact address. The number to call, 305-627-6700. You can get them Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nick has got a 4th generation now. They've got 3 beautiful grandkids, too. And you can go there and get them. If you want one on Saturday or Sunday this week, you say, geez, I didn't get there during the week. No problem. Go online, www.perdomocigars.com, to find a retailer near you that sells these great cigars. So this week, when the NBA All-Star game is played, bet the under and light it up with a Perdomo cigar.
What is the total on that? Do we know?
476. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
It used to be an annuity, but back then they actually played token defense in the last 4 minutes, and so it was no given that they were going to go over. And then now all of a sudden they've ignored that. They've just absolutely forsaken any form of defense. All right, the scrambler has landed on Lubie.
Mike.
Okay.
Mike.
It's going to be Mike and Andy. Are we ready to go for the final, the championship round? What's going to happen, guys, is Dave's going to fire off a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first chance. Back and forth until we have a winner. A couple of seasoned veterans. Good luck, guys. Here we go for the title.
All right, President's Day coming up Monday. We want to know the answer to this one. President Donald Trump began his athletic college career at Fordham University in which sport?
Andy, baseball.
All right. No, but that was one of the choices.
Oh, wow. All right.
3 for you, Mike. Squash, golf, or badminton?
Squash.
That's it, squash.
Oh, yeah.
He was a squash player at Fordham. Then he transferred to Penn for his degree.
Donald J. Trump, was actually on an athletic team?
Yeah, he was on the squash team, and apparently that's what he's tried to do with all his employees when he went bankrupt.
Squash democracy, that's for sure. All right, Gurgles, you get out there and enjoy that sunshine. Do you get tempted to hit an occasional shot?
No. I'm out there just making sure everybody has a good time, making sure the crowd moves along. My days will come. I've got some Beat the Broadcasters coming up in the future, and I'm going to take Smitty and some people out on our course probably sometime next week. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Have a great birthday, Gergely.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. Working on his birthday, Lubie. What's your philosophy on that?
Man, I think I worked on every birthday. I think we still work on birthdays. We can do whatever we want, and I still do shows on birthdays. Like I've never thought of it like that.
I'm not one to make a big deal about. I mean, look, I've been betting my birthday forever, and it's cost me a fortune. So it's a day I'm particularly bitter on, by and large. All right, and now that the time is just, I'm rolling, but I can't believe it, Louie. We were just out there in Vegas celebrating number 70, right? And then I'm thinking I'm inside the distance for 75. That's insane to even conceive of. Yeah, well, I remember thinking I was going to be 49 in the year 2000, back when I was like 9, 10 years old, and I never thought I would make it there. And I did my best to make that happen.
Worked on it, yeah.
Jesus. All right, we're going to come back in a little while. Just a few minutes. We have some very important announcements for you to consume, and then we'll get into it. A whole bunch of things from the world of sport as we continue in a moment. Now that 8:39.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe Bee.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by asleep, to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks.
What could that have been about except
Gambling.
to hedge or not to hedge?
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
It's become pretty easy when you're doing this kind of work. You're fishing around for something. Hey, what are we going to talk about coming out of the break? And all you have to do, Lubie, is go to the odds page and start taking a look at some of the things that are on tap for tonight and for today. Under the heading of you can bet on anything, Lubie, what kind of competition is this supposed to be between the U.S. Olympic hockey team and Latvia today?
I hope not. I hope not a lot of competition.
Latvia versus the United States of America. The United States of America, of course, the team features many NHL players. Now, there was a time where that would be looked upon with a certain amount of pessimism, saying, well, how many good American hockey players are there? That has changed. I mean, we've seen a much stronger presence of American hockey players being key contributors and top players in the NHL over the years. And that's with an even larger influx of European players coming into the National Hockey League. It used to just be like U.S. and Canada, and then all of a sudden you had the Czechs and the Finns and the Swedes and just about everybody else. But Latvia, I don't recall Latvia having a single NHL player. I can't imagine. Do they? Is there a Latvian player in the National Hockey League?
Maybe.
In the country.
I could name them. Again, it sounds like that same area. That's cold.
Somebody must know the answer to this. So we're open to contributions from the crowd out there. If you want to pop it up on the chat line, if you have access to that, which everybody should. Everybody has access to it but me, Lubie. I don't know why I can't make comments on there because I haven't figured it out yet. The USA, if you want to lay 4.5 goals, Lubie, 4.5 goals. So the United States would have to win 5-0 for you to cash this ticket, and you still have to lay a price of -160. So if you're assuming it's going to be a 5-goal margin or better between the United States and Latvia, you have to bet 160 to win 100. Would you be inclined to try and capitalize on that, Libby? It's not like they're giving money away.
That's like one of those dumb bets where even when you win, you don't win a lot, and you don't have you could lose because it's sports. So no, I would stay far away from that.
All right, Latvia plus 4.5 goals. You're getting plus 120, and with that being said, the over/under total, they're assuming Latvia is going to get shut out. This is what the odds makers are kind of telling you, because you have to lay 4.5 goals, so it has to be 5-0 USA at the least, and then the over/under is only 6.5. So I'm thinking, what are the odds makers looking at, like a 9-0 game here?
That's I guess.
What we're anticipating. How much of that would you actually watch with your spirit of Americana and the fact that you're a red-blooded American. You're rooting for the USA all the way, especially in hockey. Now, if you want either of the Kachucks to score the first goal, you're getting 11-1 on either of those guys, Brady or Matthew. So, what do you think? Would you take a shot with Matt Tkachuk at 11-1, score the first goal in a game?
Yes. Yes, because he's done nothing for the Panthers, so he'll like ball out for USA probably. That's the feeling I
Be
get.
barreling into people. Did he get hurt in the international competition they had the last time? That's where he incurred this injury that's been really restricted him. Brady Tkachuk and Matt Tkachuk 11-1. Austin Matthews, the standout, of course, is 7-1 to score the first goal. Does the star usually score the first goal, or some defenseman somehow has it go in, off his kneecap and it goes into the goal because he's standing in front of the goalie? What kind of prayer do you think will be pronounced over the Latvian goalie? Because you talk about him, and he should just wear like dead meat on his jersey. All right, another one by dead meat. It's 9-0 USA right now. This game's a little out of hand. We'll see if they go to the bench. You go to the bench, you still have NHL All-Stars. So I guess it'll get more exciting, but this game is not anticipated.
Our friend Damon comes in clutch. Not only are there Latvians in the NHL, but the Panthers themselves have sent 2 Latvians to the Olympics. So we can get
out of here, man. So we should be rooting for the Latvians.
Maybe. Well, I think the Panthers between America and Canada. But yes, that's pretty solid. Belinskis, who I think I've heard of. Vilmanis, I've never heard of. Belinskis, I think, is a good defense.
Shows you how closely I'm following the Panthers this year.
I mean, I don't know if these
guys only went back-to-back Stanley Cups and been to the finals 3 years in a row, and we couldn't distinguish that they had a couple of Latvians. I don't know. Very good job to sniff that out, though, by Damon. We appreciate that kind of input here on the program. Later on, then, too, what is this? This figures to be a more competitive game, no? Canada favored pretty heavily over Czechoslovakia, I guess, which is now known as Czechia or something. Minus 120, and that's if you lay 2.5 goals. That's a lot, isn't it, Lubie? I mean, can't we possibly be looking at like a 1-goal decision here? I'm tempted to go ahead and get involved in that game. The Czechs versus Canada. What do you think? Too much pressure on the Canadians? They have to win. They choke up in this first game. They eke out a victory in overtime, and everybody's cashing on the Czechs.
The Czechs probably have more talent than we realize, and also that is a thing for Canada most of the time. But I don't know. They're usually pretty loaded. I always lean Canada until they prove us wrong.
Could this possibly be happening? I'm reading this analysis here of what prop bet to take, and this gentleman named Dylan Svoboda, who frequently is a contributor in his column. I don't know that I could say one way or the other how I mean, his analysis is always spot on, as we say. You're reading this stuff, and you're absolutely convinced that there's no way this guy could be wrong. And then it turns out it's just the opposite. He's saying take a prop bet tonight on Cooper Flagg. Is Cooper Flagg not already announced to be out of the All-Star Future Stars game?
Oh, really? Oh, that's annoying.
So how could he possibly play tonight?
I don't know, because he'll play for the team that's paying a lot of money. And he's not going to play for the exhibition
Stars game, which I believe
that's usually the thing that's fun, like that, yeah. Because you have a lot of these kids in the league nowadays. Like there's a lot of young stars. Like that game's usually fun. It's very competitive. I mean, the Heat I think have 2 or 3 guys in it, so I'm like at least Ware I think is going to be in it. So I haven't watched it recently, but whenever you look back, those are the games that are actually decently competitive, and you see a lot of the stars of the future in that game.
All right. So yeah, I tend to agree. I don't really tune in much to NBA All-Star activity because the 3-point shooting kind of became like the home run derby of NBA All-Star week or weekend. The game itself is always inconsequential. I actually used to care about the outcome because I was a big fan of the.
Well, because the fourth quarter, especially the last half of the fourth quarter, was really competitive and it was really fun. So yes, I used to watch the All-Star game and get really into it at the end. It hasn't been like that. Is it a decade? I don't even remember the last time they actually gave a crap about the end of the All-Star game.
No, they've completely turned off any semblance of defense and competitiveness. I don't know. Did they give them the same amount of money if they're in the All-Star game?
What's weird to me is I don't remember any injuries ever in the All-Star game. Like for all this, you don't want to try to argue, you don't want to get injured. I don't remember one injury. Like again, in football, I get the Pro Bowl being stupid. It's football. But like in basketball, these guys took it pretty seriously for at least a quarter. And I don't remember one injury, let alone major injury. So there's no reason for them to be this. Like they're making more money than ever. This is where you showcase, you get to play with the best in the world and all that. It is weird that they give this little effort. Like, there's no explanation for it.
And people don't care, I guess, about the lack of competitive nature of the game, that it's just basically Ole defense, because they come out to see stars. Right? And the game comes, where's the All-Star game being conducted? Do we know? Any idea?
To be brutally honest, and
why do I want to say LA? I don't know why.
Be an indictment on me, or just where we are in the world when it comes to sports.
Yeah,
I did not realize it was this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. And
I wouldn't either, except I watched some portions of a couple of NBA games.
I know it's coming up. I can do the math on the schedule. I know we're getting to the halfway point. It's usually like 20 games past the halfway point. So I knew we're getting to it at some point. I didn't realize it was like now. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
Still 3 games on tap tonight. They had a pretty heavy schedule last night of games as they had all of these teams getting set for the All-Star break and what would have to be load management type of rest that they need. Thunder and the Bucks, that probably was a very attractive game at one point. It no longer appears to be a send-off game of any great merit. Thunder favored by 13 and a hook. Trailblazers, Jazz. Portland, I mean, what do we think of the Portland Trailblazers? Do we know anything about them? They were sort of showing signs of life last year at different times. I mean, they didn't do anything of any great significance, but from being a doormat there and just being outright trash for a period of time, they started to show some signs. And then I don't know what they're doing this year, really. I mean, I want to say they recently had a decent streak. They're favored heavily over the Jazz. 8 and a hook, and the Lakers and the Mavericks. Now, if the Mavericks are without Cooper Flagg, who's having a sensational run, Lubie, did you see this guy taking off to this level, or is it just because he essentially is the Dallas Mavericks at this point? Cooper Flagg, he's averaging like 30-something a game for the last
as we've seen throughout the history, when a team is really bad, someone has to score. So yes, that probably has a lot to do with it. Anthony Davis is now gone. Kyrie hasn't played at all this year. So yes, it's a bunch of young guys. They've let him just play, but also he's playing really well. I mean, like, I thought he'd be good. I thought he was the guy you can tank for, a real number 1 pick, but I didn't know he would be like Wemby is already, I don't know who even competes with Wemby for the MVP. Like, I feel like Wemby's running away with the MVP in like his 3rd year. Like, I didn't know he'd be that. I didn't think he'd be that. He may not be that, but he's pretty freaking good. Like, he's pretty good, man. And he's definitely the kind of player that you can build around 1 and 2. It's hard to easily forget a Luka, but if you look at Luka, between the injuries and between his shortcomings, yes, they got to a finals, but he does feel like a guy that has some issues where it will be hard for him to age, and it will be hard to really win consistently long term with, like, Luka doesn't play defense, and your star sort of has to at least have passing interest in defense. Like, Flagg plays everywhere. Flagg does everything, and he's younger and cheaper. Again, they fell ass backwards into it, so I still think that guy deserved to be fired because that trade was moronic. But Flagg feels like the kind of guy you can build a franchise around in this modern NBA. And I don't know what you do with Luka. Like, the Lakers are good, but I don't know if the Lakers are ever going to contend for a title, really. Like, Luka's like this really fun, flashy star. And he did get to a finals, but I don't know. It just feels like it's hard to win big with him because he does have a major, like, you can target him. Like, you can do this stuff you do with Hero. Like, you can hunt Luka Doncic. That's how bad he is on defense. So, like, that is not the case for Flagg. Flagg's if he's not an elite defender, he's a really good defender. And he takes it really seriously.
Luka averaging 32.8 a game, a point better than Gilgeous Alexander.
No, he's a great scorer, and he's a great passer, and he rebounds okay, and teammates like him. He's clearly top 5 or so in the league. But as we go forward, like, if you don't play one side of the ball at all, like, Nash wasn't good, but he wasn't like Luka's a sieve. Like, Luka's really bad on defense. Like,
is he planted to the ground?
Yes, he doesn't move. He doesn't move.
Just I mean, literally nailed to the wood there on defense. I don't know that he tries much. He does get rebounds, which would speak maybe that his defense isn't totally a disaster, or is it because he's constantly being beaten to the basket by the guy who's then under the basket and he grabs a rebound off a missed lay-in or something?
Again, you take Luka over Flagg any day right now, but Flag it looks like he's coming, and I'm curious what Luka and the Lakers will be going for it as LeBron goes and they take that next chapter. I just when you look at the West and all the young teams that are really well built, I don't see how the Lakers would compete with the Thunder, with the Nuggets, with the T-Wolves, with the Spurs. Like, to me, the Lakers, no matter what they do, it's hard to see them jumping over a 5th or a 6th slot. Whereas with Flag, the Mavs could become one of those young, interesting teams.
Yeah, I think you have a point, which is with the injuries and the fact that Luka, as you said, almost exclusively a one-way player. Right? You do see Flag playing some defense. He'll get out there.
No, he's a really good defender. Man, I don't know if he's elite. I don't know what you rate him, but he's a really good defender. He's a target defender.
Yeah,
yes.
and he hustles. So I don't know that hustle would be a defining quality of Luka Doncic's defensive efforts. But that being said, amazing. You'd rather be lucky than good, huh? One of the worst, most horrendous, ill-conceived deals ever in the history of sports.
Oh, they got nothing back. Like, do they have anyone on the roster for a top 5 player who wanted to be there? He didn't ask out. It wasn't these things where, like, he forced their hand. He was shocked. He wanted to be there. Like, you could have got a haul for Luka. Like,
but I mean, under the premise that you just laid out, if you're never going to win a championship with Luka Doncic, although, as you said, he did get to a finals with a team that was an improbable contender for that position.
100%.
No?
So again, he may prove me wrong. He's a great player, and maybe you can construct a defensive force around him that it's okay. I don't know. It just feels like Flag has a really interesting potential that I don't know if Luka will get. Like, it feels like Luka's what he is, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll win a title. It feels like Flag maybe could, to be brutally honest. Like, the guy.
I think too. I don't know. I mean, this gets into a little kinesiology there, like a Mike Marshall, the former pitcher who transformed himself into some kind of medical expert on sports. But if you play a good portion of your career somewhat out of shape, I don't know. I mean, he could be out of shape and still run full court in the NBA. Let's face it, the pace of the game has to be just so intense that you couldn't possibly be like a bloated Shaq.
No.
I mean, and be considered completely out of shape. I mean, you may be out of shape by comparison to other NBA players or to what your potential body type could or should be. But do you think that contributes to the debilitation later on when, okay, now he's in shape, right? He looks fine. Slimmed down during the off season, was involved in some serious let's get fit type of workouts, had one of those Billy Blanks type of gurus, I think, working with him. Comes back, looks great, having a great season offensively. Nobody could deny that. But do you think that the early – they used to say this about Dwayne Wade. It wasn't necessarily with regard to his physical conditioning, but that if you continue to play with these so-called – and here's another one of those terms that pops up and you're thinking – did I really want to say that? Reckless abandon. Mm-hmm. Remember when Wade was going up and he was falling, straight down on the floor, face down from 6 feet above the surface, and you thought, if this guy continues to do this, he's not going to last long. This is going to be Jerry Glanville time. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many years did Wade play? Did that cost him later? I mean, it certainly cost him.
It felt like it. He found out he got good enough at the mid-range game and was smart enough as a defender that he was able to play longer than you thought early on. But his prime, I mean, think about it, like his elite level. Like, again, by that 4th trip to the finals, he was already not the same guy. Like, that whole final, again, if Wade was Wade, they would have beat the Spurs.
Yeah.
It was LeBron and nothing. Like, every guy was old and hurt, even Bosh by that finals. Like, and Wade was in his early 30s then. Like, he hung around because he was a smart player and was evolved the 3-point game, the mid-range. But his like pure prime, it felt like it shortened it. Like, it felt like his best like was shortened by 2 or 3 years just because of how all out he was the first 3 or 4 or 5 years.
So is it possible? Now that's a physical thing where you're taking shots to the body. But if you didn't take great care of your body, and maybe even in the off season, you went Roberto Duran, where you like ballooned up 60 pounds between fights. Or Ricky Hatton, who unfortunately took his own life earlier this year or last year, in a year where, I mean, look, we're going to continue saying this, right? As time progresses, we lost a lot of good ones. Yeah. Reminds me of that call from what was the guy from Humatilla? What was the guy's name?
Steve Umatilla.
Yeah. Remember that guy?
Yes, very much so.
I still remember him saying, "Oh, we lost a lot of great gators this year." I'm like, okay, Lee from Humatilla.
Yes, no, Steve. I have it. Steve. I'll play it tomorrow if you want. We're running out of time.
Yeah,
now.
please do. Yeah, because
From Humatilla. Yes,
I like when he called into the actual Steve Spurrier show.
Well, no, because that was the best one. You talked about him for years, and I always laughed like it was fake. And then one time I had to fill in for someone, so they just had it on, and I was like barely paying attention. And that's where I caught it because I would record it just in case there was something fun for us. Like they didn't need me to record it, but I remember I was like, you know what, I'm doing the show just in case they get a really good call. Defo loves these, and out of nowhere I hear Mick, who we love. We actually became really cool with Mick. Annoyingly enough, he was a sweet guy. As much as we wanted to hate him,
he was
like, Steve. I'm like, Steve, and I got like excited. I marked it, and he's like, Steve from Umatilla. I'm like, no way. I'm like, there's no way this guy's real. And then he gave like the greatest call ever. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it was about basketball. It wasn't even football, but it worked so well. I'm like, oh, we're gonna use this for a long time.
he was an incredible caller. Yeah. I mean, and just reeked of hillbilly.
Yes.
So it couldn't have been any more perfect for the animal and farm animal noises we used to pipe it in the background. We never asked Mick, or did we? I mean, did we have the moxie to ask Mick? Because we try to respect Mick Hubert because we had been the enemy of the Gator Nation for so long that, when we finally got Mick to consent to come on a show, I did have great respect for this guy. He truly was a voice of the Gators.
He was nice. He came on whenever we wanted. But also he wasn't like sense of humor guy. Like Gene would mess around a little bit. Like Gene knew you and we became friends. That Deckroff. That like if you threw a joke out there, you go, oh, Defo, and he would chuckle. Mick never really did that. So like we just talked Gators whenever we had Mick on. Like I don't remember like.
But it was a history book though of Gator sports lore because that was nothing, and he would throw in a lot of stuff, man, as if he was doing a very detailed play-by-play on what was happening. So, no, I always enjoyed it. I don't believe I ever met Mick Hubert in all of those years.
No, never. I never met Mick.
His programs. I don't know that Mick. I don't think Mick called Gator baseball.
No, Mick wasn't like Gene where he called everything. Mick called football. He may have called basketball because their basketball was a big enough deal. I don't know for sure.
I believe he called basketball. I want to say yes to that.
I think Gene called softball, called lacrosse.
Yeah, Gene was like a swimming meet. Gene Deckeroff and Billy Bob Thornton here.
I think Gene called everything.
All right, we promise you people Steve from Humatilla on tomorrow.
I think I have it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see if you can dig it up because it's classic, man. And we never asked Mick how did he feel? What was he thinking? Oh, I got to put this guy on. Or like he just at the last second glanced at the board and he could have taken any other call that was on there, but he ended up going with the next one because he was distracted from who the caller might be, and it was like before he could even realize it, he went, "Okay, Steve from Humatilla," punched him up there. What did they do? You're like Jake Lamont in a Raging Bull when they threw him in the Dade County lockup there.
Exactly.
Which, I'm surprised I haven't changed the name back under the current administration to the Dade County Stockade, which has a very draconian type of tone to it. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for being with us, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Professor, a big board. So, I don't know. I mean, he's been on top of his game for a long, long time, this guy. So, I don't know how he keeps coming up with this stuff. He did a little Winter Olympics in this last one, right?
Yes, and he's going to, obviously, I'm sure we had the.
Oh, that sounds to be the whole thing. Yeah, we haven't heard the last of that.
It'll be something. Well, no, you're going to hear, because I didn't realize he watches our shows. So he's like, geez, Defo's really been on this Lindsey Vonn thing. I'm like, yes, he has. That and curling, for some reason, have been all we talked about all week. So he may not talk about it. I can't lie to you.
Biathlon, too, has been like just amazing. They really penalize you a minute's time for a missed shot. They're expecting you to make everything. I mean, holy Larry Bird, what are we talking about?
I don't know. I just the idea of that sport scares me. I'm still waiting for a guy to slip and shoot someone standing on the side and be like, "Oh, Jesus!"
For it, yeah. But it does seem a little odd, and I doubt it runs very deep with American. I mean, cross country skiing where? Montana? Is that where they're doing this stuff?
I don't
So
know.
North Dakota would be inclined to have some cross
I was
country.
gonna say Aspen and it doesn't feel like you're doing cross country and shooting things. Like it doesn't. Hold on, so we can finish this. Like it doesn't feel like the places in America where we ski, like outside of the Great White North, like you're doing crazy.
Just go across like a flat plain in snow.
I don't know.
Just to get some groceries. Do we need butter, dear? Okay. It's only 20 kilometers. Those guys, I've never seen such exhaustion. I haven't experienced that in a long, long time where I actually put out that type of effort.
Yes, exactly.
Getting out of bed, I guess, would be the closest I come. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow with the professor. Thanks so much for being with us. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time. And happy birthday, Dave Gurggle.
Happy birthday, Gergs.
Yeah. See you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
9:05.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what